I think it was Roger Waters that once quipped, "We don't need no education," which, of course, given the terrible grammar of that statement, proves that we do, in fact, need an education. John Cowan is in agreement with that idea. He joins us on the program. Kia ora, good morning.
Yes, I'm just another brick in the wall advocating education. I had the privilege of talking to Lyndon Drake. I'd never heard of the man before, but...
Can I just say, Reverend...
You know him, Andrew, don't you?
Yeah, Reverend Dr. Lyndon Drake. He's one of these strange individuals that has 3 doctorates.
Oh, he's the venerable...
Venerable
Reverend
Doctor.
Lyndon, Dr. Lyndon Drake.
Exactly.
Yes, he did initial degrees in science and commerce, then he studied statistics, recruited to Barclay Bank in London, worked in their commerce division, shot off to York University to do a PhD there on computer AI ethics and things.
Before it was trending.
They got him back to Barclays. He became a vice president of their trading side of things, and then went off while still working part-time at Barclays, went off and did 2 degrees in Oxford University, ending up with a D.Phil there in theology. So if you're wanting to talk to someone about statistics, ancient Hebrew literature, commercial banking, science and statistics, he's your man, probably. I'm just surprised he hasn't gone off and become an astronaut and a brain surgeon as well. But
that's probably still to come. And somehow in amongst it all, he's quite balanced and reasonable, and has a family and manages to make time for the wife and all of that type of stuff.
Yeah, he struck me as being a thoroughly decent, well-meaning guy, very active within the Anglican Church. I think he's heading back perhaps into his parish is once again going to be in commerce, I think, as he moves back to London for family reasons. But anyway, what it did make me think about is how miserable my own academic career is. I mean, I sputtered around at university for a few years and staggered out with the most skinny degree I could. I think they gave that because they felt sorry for me. But anyhow, I've often been in people debating about the virtues of, say, a trade versus a degree.
Yeah.
And I've come to the conclusion. A conclusion is a lazy thing, by the way. A conclusion is just when you stop thinking about something. But my conclusion on that one is yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, trades. Yes, degrees. Just say yes to everything there.
Okay.
Because both are great. Both lead on to other things if you want them to.
Mm-hmm.
Both are good. And unfortunately, there has been, I guess, a heritage of thinking that trades are the second-class option.
Yeah.
And that if you're not good enough or smart enough for university, you do a trade. And there's also the sort of the inverse snobbery where people say if you're not, haven't got enough nous and smarts and practicality to do a trade, if you can't cope with life, if you're a bookish nerd, you go off to university.
Exactly.
Which was true in my case, but I mean, it's there's a bit of snobbery going both ways. But in actual fact, both are excellent options, and it's not necessarily the stuff you learn. Of course, you learn stuff. You have to do exams on stuff. You learn the history or the maths or the science or how to bend pipes or hammer metal or something. But whatever your trade is, but it's what it does to your brain. I'm really quite convinced about this heretical idea that all education and all training is good.
Wow.
I mean, you're studying theology. That could even potentially be good.
Well, it could be.
Well, I'll keep that one open.
Well, can I just throw in, I started with Pink Floyd and now to Dire Straits. Philosophy is useless, theology is worse, and I've studied both. So
yes.
I'm proving his point, I think.
No, I look, since you've done theology and philosophy, you'll probably like a word like equipotentiality.
It's a wonderful word.
Equipotentiality, and I have an idea of equipotentiality of education, which meaning it's all good.
It's all good, man.
It's all good because of what it does for your brain. You need vocational training for professions and trades. If you're wanting someone to operate on your varicose veins, you don't necessarily want someone who's just studied Greek at university. But most of us we might get a vocational training to do a trade or something, but most of us will have multiple careers.
Yeah.
Even people that do trades usually end up floating up into the ranks of management and things like that. They have a different career. And the training we get, I believe, is transferable, even if it's not specifically about something.
Yeah.
Like in the weekend, I heard about a panel beater who had an accident and because of ACC, got the opportunity to do something else, and he became a computer programmer. And the panel beating worked as a computer programmer.
Wow.
He could mend the case of the computer, but not only that, he could solve problems, he could think around the corner, and the best managed Christian organization I know, the CEO, has got a degree in, I think, medieval German literature.
Very practical.
Not often in the course of his working life will he come across some 600-year-old German word that needs translation, but his brain has been shaped. That you learn to develop what's called, if you're a philosopher and a theologian, you'll like this word too, Sitzfleisch. Have you come across Sitzfleisch?
Not a German scholar personally, but
it means sitting flesh, the ability to sit still, to sit down, to think hard, to work hard on something. Sitzfleisch. Drop that into your conversation.
Yeah, I'm very good at sitting, so maybe that's my true calling, John. Yeah.
But I've got this flibbity gibbet of a brain that flips from one thing to another. Sitzfleisch means sitting there, concentrating, working, and you don't get through university without acquiring a little bit of sitzfleisch, to be able to work things. So look, if your kids are wondering about education, yes, do encourage them, and don't fuss too much that they're going off to do something that you can't understand why they'd want to do that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the commercialization of education means that young people want to see a return on their investment. They've spent so much money and gotten to so much debt. They need to get, they need a career that's going to plunge them into something earning well. And I think that's a bit sad.
Yeah.
They will earn well. Even much derided arts degrees, research has shown that a person will earn literally millions of dollars more in their lifetime earning because of their arts degree. Even if they studied dance, even if they studied haiku poetry or something like that, because of what it does to your brain.
I do have a memory from my time in tertiary education at Otago University. The gentlemen's toilets had a sign on the Jay's toilet paper dispenser box, and that it had written in indelible ink, Bachelor of Arts, please take one.
Yes. There's lots of jokes
between
like
the
that.
Faculties, exactly.
Yes, I've got an arts degree. Would you like fries with that? Yes.
Hey, maybe we do need a degree to help us to think about complicated issues, and we need a trade to help us pay for the money that we borrowed to get the degree. Maybe we do need that combination, John.
They do. But I think things wash up well for people that have a degree. Before computer science degrees became available at university, IBM used to go recruiting from arts degrees.
Okay.
Why? Because they had a brain that had been already plowed up and knew how to think and everything like this. So, I think the answer is always yes. As far as I'm concerned, it's worth impoverishing yourself to get a degree, even in something that makes people gasp. And why would you spend time learning that?
Yeah.
Because it's shaping your brain, training you up, giving you Sitzfleisch, and opening doors for your long term. So you're alive. You're alive for 168 hours a week. Why not get an education that trains you for that, not just the 40 hours of a job?
No, hey, some wonderful wisdom and advice as always. You can tell you've got a great, robust university education, or at least hang out with people more intelligent than you. That's actually my job here at Rhema Media. John, thank you for your inspiration once again. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Cheers.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.